Hi guys, so today's video is going to be if you like these books, check out these video games recommendations, as well as a little bit of story time and info as to how I got my PlayStation 5, because I know that it is not easy to get them right now, and I was not going to pay a crazy $900 or $1,000 to buy it off of someone. I'm like, I'll wait. And I wanted to let you know how I was able to get mine in case this information is helpful and helps you get one as well. I'll actually start with how I got the PlayStation 5 and then move into the recommendations second. So I was doing the thing that I feel like a lot of people were doing. I would search and see when the restocks would happen, but every time they announced that a restock was going to come up, whether it was Best Buy or Walmart or any of those sorts of websites, I would set my alarm and then I would go to the website right at that time, and they were basically sold out as soon as you tried to get it, or you clicked add to cart and then it would tell you it was sold out, and you'd be trying to pay and then it would tell you it was sold out. And I was thinking, I'm never gonna get one, especially whenever they announce it ahead of time, because then everybody's flocking to these websites. So I decided, and this is where today's sponsor comes into play. So I decided to go ahead and use the kinds of technology that Shoptagr utilizes, which is when it tells you that something that you have saved comes back into stock, it will notify you immediately. Shoptagr is a Google Chrome extension. You can also get an app on your phone. It lets you know price drops, coupon codes, and also when things come back into stock. So there are times that the PlayStation comes back in stock that I don't see these very grand, oh, look, it's coming back in stock tomorrow at 3 p.m. They don't have a huge announcement. So there was a day where I was working on my computer. I got this little notification because I had saved the PlayStation to their website. I definitely feel like the story, though, is boring if you're not the one experiencing it. But I wanted to let you all know about Shoptagr because this technology is helpful. It lets you know, it kind of keeps you in the know about these restocks when they're not formally announced. As far as how you get Shoptagr on your computer and your phone, the phone's easy. You just download the app, and on your computer, you make sure you're using the Google Chrome search rather than something like Safari, because it is a Google Chrome extension. And from there, you just download the browser button. It's very easy. I'm very bad with technology, and this was very simple. So if I was able to get it, you'll definitely be able to. I have used Shoptagr in the past, not just for the PlayStation, but also for books. I used it when I was searching for things for the holidays, so you can save things to your Shoptagr page, and then that way you can monitor when there are price drops, or you can have it saved so that when you have some money, if you want to go back and do some online shopping, you can do it that way. You can save things to specific lists as well to keep it organized really nicely. And the coupon codes, what it does is when you go to pay Shoptagr, you can click to have it search all over the internet for any relevant discounts, coupon codes, and then they'll make sure you're getting the best price possible. You can also earn cash back. They have a whole page that you can click on with retailers that offer cash back. They do this through PayPal, just an extra way to earn yourself some money while shopping. Again, it offers the coupon codes, it offers the cash back, it offers you the opportunity to organize and list the things that you're wanting, and it tells you when things are on sale or come back in stock. If you are interested in Shoptagr, I'll have it linked in the description bar down below. Now jumping into the if you like these books, check out these video games recommendations. I have done one of these videos in the past, so if you would like even more recommendations, I'll have that video linked in the description bar. But jumping into this one, I'm gonna start with what is one of the most popular books on the list that I made, and that would be Percy Jackson, the Percy Jackson series. And then this game is something that not only you can enjoy, but maybe younger family members that you know can enjoy also. So in general, lots of people can get enjoyment out of this. Enough blabbering. The game itself would be Immortals Phoenix Rising. This game is essentially Breath of the Wild, but I think that it's more fitting to Percy Jackson because it has gods and goddesses, Greek gods and goddesses specifically, which I think ties really nicely to Percy Jackson. The game is also really silly and really cheeky, so you have the gods sort of narrating the story, not constantly once you get going. It's very open world, it's very vivid and bright and lush. There's lots of little things to do with Greek mythology tied into the game. You are the last hope to save mankind and to help the gods and goddesses. It's so fun, but the narration from the gods is always very silly, is very funny, very innocent humor. but also it's so goofy that I just absolutely love it. And the game itself is silly too. I think it pokes fun at video games. I can't get enough of it. There's enough to do in the game that it can last a long time. And it's actually enough of a challenge that even if you're a seasoned gamer, I still think there are things about it that can be pretty challenging. Add to though, if you aren't a seasoned gamer, I would still highly recommend this game because you can choose to go to the things that are difficult and then come back to them once you've gotten more accustomed to the gameplay or your character is stronger. Some of the puzzles are quite challenging. You have to have certain abilities. It's so much fun. I highly recommend this game. Even if you're not a fan of Percy Jackson, this game is great. Next up is one that unfortunately you do have to read the first era Mistborn books, or I would recommend that you read those before reading Mistborn second era. But if you've read Mistborn second era, you know that it is kind of a Western fantasy, which is rare. But if you like that vibe, I would highly recommend Red Dead Redemption. I'll be honest in saying I only have experience with Red Dead Redemption 2. I never played the first one, but this game is so much fun. It also has a lot of gray morality. You're jumping on trains. You're kind of a criminal. And so I just think that you're not exactly the same kind of character as the characters in Mistborn second era, but I think that the setting itself is really fitting. If you pick up Red Dead Redemption, the very beginning of Red Dead Redemption 2 is kind of boring, as a lot of games are, right? You have to get through that beginning part, but once you get past that, there's so much to do in that game. You can choose to make Arthur Morgan a terrible human being, or you can make him a nice guy, kind of, sort of. I mean, he's still a little rough around the edges, but I love Arthur Morgan. It's such a fun game. Highly recommend, especially if you like Mistborn Era 2. Next up would be a video game recommendation for Sword of Kaigen. This particular book follows a society that has been essentially brainwashed. There's so much propaganda that you really can't even question the moral code that has been established in your society. And even though the world is quite advanced, they make references to video games and things like that. The island of Kaigen itself is kept within this more traditional samurai type of setting. And I think that the fact that in this story, there's a big emphasis on questioning what is considered right, questioning if you should follow this moral code, that ties into the game Ghost of Tsushima so well. They're both samurai type of stories, so that goes along with it too. But also just that general questioning of, wait a second, is this right? Maybe we should try to push back a little bit. Ghost of Tsushima follows a man in Japan who, during the Mongol invasion, has to question whether or not his samurai code is worth keeping if it means that they might lose to the Mongols. And then so he ends up trying to decide if maybe he needs to partake in some decisions, some behavior, some means of attack that aren't exactly honorable. This game is amazing. One of the most gorgeous, breathtaking games, if not the most gorgeous, breathtaking games I've ever played. The gameplay is so smooth. The character, the voice acting, the emotions, the imagery, all of it is perfect. I mean, it's basically perfect. I love this game so much. And if you're looking for something super emotional, because Sword of Kaigen gets super emotional too, then this game, you have to play it. The next recommendation would be for a new release, which would be Hall of Smoke. I reviewed this book recently, so for those of you that have followed my channel pretty consistently, apologies for being a little repetitive here, but this particular book follows a woman who is grieving because she has lost something very important to her at the beginning of the story, and she's trying to survive. She's kind of out in the wild encountering different peoples while also getting caught within this battle between the gods and goddesses. So I would say this story there's a decent amount of reflection. It's more of an introspective, kind of slower, slightly more somber, serious sort of setup, and very Nordic feeling. And that, oh my gosh, this game. I've only just started playing this game. It is like nothing else I have ever played, and that would be Senua's Sacrifice. It really examines psychosis in the main character, and you really don't know what is real and what is not. It is something that they took a lot of care with. They actually hired professionals to give them guidance on how to portray somebody with psychosis. And so this individual, they hear the voices. They are trying to go to the goddess to get back one of their loved ones, which you kind of have to infer based off of things that are happening. It It doesn't come straightforward and tell you all this necessarily. You kind of are getting this information as you go. But it's very dark, it's very serious, but having a game that puts so much emphasis on something so personal, and the fact that it also has this very Nordic feel to it, remind me a little bit of Hall of Smoke. Like I said before, I will have my other recommendations listed in the description bar down below, as well as any other, if you like this, try that type of videos that I have done. Definitely let me know what recommendations you have, either for the things that I mentioned or for other books that you think go well with certain video games. Thank you again to Shoptagr for sponsoring this video. I will have all of their info linked as well. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all later. Bye.